come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to
You young niggas ain't tough. You young niggas ain't tough. You young niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah. Yahweh Shema Alatah Shem Yahushua to all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000, a card of a rhyme, checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander Junior Hunt.
And you know we not no cowards. Oh, you on that?
Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on. I'm gonna say it one more time. This year's 52nd annual Passover under Commander Junior Hunt under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's gonna be in H-Town, baby.
It's gonna be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
2021 I.S.U.P.K. 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy.
You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord, of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
Live, the mic muted. What? Why did you present yourself?
Why you bun gad, bun yashala.
Why you bun gad, bun yashala.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah.
Yasha Allah.
That I say Aminu, which means to stand. Wapanyah Hafadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew. Repeat after me. Abanau, Shabbat Shemayim, Kadash, Hayat, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwaska, Aba'ah, Matazaka, Hayat, I.S.U.P.K, Baratiza, Kawab, Hayat, Mashamayim, the Thumbnail, Ka, Yawam, Wasalaki now, Kawawaki now, Kasalaki now, Kawawaki now, Wala'ah, Tabi'ai now, when it's one. A ball. I was shining out. Mayan. Right. The cup. Hamalakwa. Waha'ala.
us this day.
Give us this day
Our daily bread.
our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not
into temptation.
into temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it.
We'll say a cup the power. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Ba'ukashah.
Ba'ukashah.
The thunder now.
The thunder now.
Hakak.
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 La Pa'ah.
La Pa'ah.
Ka'makala.
Ka'makala.
Waka'madawa.
Waka'madawa.
Hakak.
Hakak.
La Tahar.
La Tahar.
Hamatazarayim.
Hamatazarayim.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Lahakwim.
Lahakwim.
Hamathim.
Hamathim.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Arakawa.
Arakawa.
Tama'ala.
Tama'ala.
Lagarshun.
Lagarshun.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Wadaman.
And in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
Power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
All manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
Power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to raise the dead.
Power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
Power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
Cast them out.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
We'll say bless Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Baraklanah.
Baraklanah.
Wayasha'ala.
Wayasha'ala.
Wahabayah.
Wahabayah.
Sapari.
Sapari.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
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 Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Wadaman.
Wadaman. And in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Our loved ones.
Our loved ones.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you. So be it.
So be it.
We'll say Psalms 121. Asha'ah.
Asha'ah.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ahahari.
Ahahari.
Ma'ayan.
Ma'ayan.
Yaba'ah.
Yaba'ah.
Izari.
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 Ma'ayin.
Ma'ayin.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
I.S.U.P.K.
I.S.U.P.K.
Shemayim.
Shemayim.
Wa'aratza.
Wa'aratza.
Al-Yathan.
Al-Yathan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Magalka.
Magalka.
Al-Yanawam.
Al-Yanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Panah.
Panah.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yanawam.
Yanawam.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Ayashun.
Ayashun.
Shalomar.
Shalomar.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Al-Yad.
Al-Yad.
Yamika.
Yamika.
Yawamam.
Yawamam.
Hashemash.
Hashemash.
La'ah.
La'ah.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
Wayarak.
Wayarak.
Balayala.
Balayala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashmarka.
Yashmarka.
Makarak.
Makarak.
Yashmar.
Yashmar.
Afnapashka.
Afnapashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashmar.
Yashmar.
Taza'afka.
Taza'afka.
Wabawa'afka.
Wabawa'afka.
Ma'aitha.
Ma'aitha.
Wa'aid awalam.
Wa'aid awalam.
Wa'alaman.
Wa'alaman. And in the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from your house.
My help cometh from your house.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
He that keepeth thee.
Will not slumber.
Will not slumber.
Behold.
Behold.
He that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth Israel.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
Nor the moon by night.
Nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
From all evil.
From all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it.
We're going to say Psalms 83. Say Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Damayalaka.
Al-Thakarash.
Al-Thakarash.
Al-Thashakwat.
Al-Thashakwat.
Al. Kayahanna.
Kayahanna.
Awayabika.
Awayabika.
Yahama Yawan.
Yahama Yawan.
Wamashanayaka.
Wamashanayaka.
Nasha'awa.
Nasha'awa.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al-Amaka.
Al-Amaka.
Ya'arayamwa.
Ya'arayamwa.
Sawad.
Sawad.
Wayatha Ya'aitazawa.
Wayatha
Al-Tatapawanyaka.
Al-Tatapawanyaka.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakida.
Wanakakida.
Magalia.
Magalia.
Wala'ah.
Wala'ah.
Yasakar.
Yasakar.
Sham Yasha'al.
Sham Yasha'al.
Iwad.
Iwad.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawaitazawa.
Nawaitazawa.
Lab.
Lab.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Aliyaka.
Aliyaka.
Baryath.
Baryath.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Ahalia.
Ahalia.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayashba'ayim.
Wayashba'ayim.
Mawa'aba.
Mawa'aba.
Wahagarian.
Wahagarian.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimalak.
Wa'aimalak.
Alashah.
Alashah.
I'm Yeshabit.
I'm Yeshabit.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gamashawar.
Gamashawar.
Nalawak.
Nalawak.
Imam.
Imam.
Hayawak.
Hayawak.
Sarawai. Sarawat. Labanya Lawat.
Labanya Lawat.
Salat.
Salat.
Ashalaham.
Aishalaham.
Kamajim.
Kamajim.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kasaya Sara'ah.
Kayabin.
Kayabin.
Banakal.
Banakal.
Koyashuan.
Koyashuan.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
But Ayan Da'arwa.
Ayan Da'arwa.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La Adama.
La Adama.
Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
Nadamawa.
Nadamawa.
Nayadamawa.
Nayadamawa. Nadayawa.
Nadayamawa.
Nadayamawa.
Ka'arab.
Ka'arab.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakaza Bak.
Wakaza Bak.
Wakata Zalmanai.
Wakaza Zalmanai.
Kaunasaya Kamwa.
Kaunasaya Kamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Nayarasha.
Nayarasha.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Na'awa.
Na'awa.
Alahaya.
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 Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
Kagagala.
Kagagala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya Rakah.
Lapanya Rakah.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Taba Ira Ya'ira.
Taba Ira.
Wakala Haba.
Wakala Haba.
Thalahat.
Thalahat.
Haryam.
Haryam.
Khan.
Khan.
Tharadatma.
Tharadatma.
Basa Irika.
Basa Irika.
Wabasa Wapaka.
Wabasa Wapaka.
Thabahalam.
Thabahalam.
Mala'a.
Mala'a.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Kwalawan.
Kwalawan.
Waya Bakwashwa.
Waya Bakwashwa.
Shabka.
Shabka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Waya Ba'awa.
Waya Ba'awa.
Ajai.
Ajai.
Waya Kaparwa.
Waya Kaparwa.
Waya Abadwa.
Waya Abadwa.
Waya Da'aiwa.
Waya Da'aiwa.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Atha. Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Labaka.
Labaka.
Ayawan.
Ayawan.
Al-Kaha Ratiza.
Al-Kaha Ratiza.
Thawaraman.
Thawaraman. And then the English. Keep not thy silence or your house. Keep not thy silence or your house. Hold not thy peace. Hold not thy peace. And be not still. And be not still. Oh your house. Oh your house. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. Thine enemies make a tumult. And they that hate thee. And they that hate thee. Have lifted up the head. Have lifted up the head. They are taking crafty counsel. They are taking crafty counsel. Against thy people. Against thy people. And consulted against thy hidden ones. And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said. They have said. Come. And let us cut them off. And let us cut them off. From being a nation. From being a nation. That the name of Israel, that the name of Israel may be no more remembered. May be no more remembered. For they have consulted together. For they have consulted together with one consent. With one consent. They are confederate against thee. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom. The tabernacles of Edom. And the Israelites. And the Israelites of Moab. Of Moab. And the Hagarenes. The Hagarenes. Gabal and Ammon. Gabal and Ammon. And Amalek. And Amalek. The Philistines. The Philistines. With the inhabitants of Slakia. With the inhabitants of Tyre. With the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. Asher also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. They have hope in the children of Lot. Salah. Salah. Do unto them. Do unto them. As unto the Midianites. As unto the Midianites. As to Sisera. As to Sisera. As to Jabin. As to Jabin. At the brook of Kishon. At the brook of Kishon. Which perished at Endor. Which perished at Endor. It became as dung for the earth. It became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb. Make their nobles like Oreb. Like Zahab. And like Zahab. Yea. All their princes. All their princes. As Sabbath. As Sabbath. And as Zalmunna. And as Zalmunna. Who said, let us take to ourselves. Let us take to ourselves the houses of Yahweh possession. The houses of Yahweh possession. Oh my power. Oh my power. Make them like your will. Make them like a will. As the stubble before the wind. As the stubble before the wind. As the fire burneth the wood. As the fire burneth the wood. And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them. So persecute them. With thy tempest. With thy tempest. And make them afraid. And make them afraid. With thy storm. With thy storm. Fill their faces with shame. Fill their faces with shame. That they may seek thy name. That they may seek thy name. Oh Yahweh. Oh Yahweh. Let them be confounded. Let them be confounded. And troubled forever. And troubled forever. Yea. Let them be put to shame. Let them be put to shame. And perish. And perish. That men may know. And men may know. That thou. Whose name alone. Is Yahweh. Is Yahweh. Art the most high. Art the most high. Over all the earth. Over all the earth. So be it. So be it.
With that, say sorrow, which means to turn. Yeshabian, which means to be seated. Up here, Yeshabian, which means to be seated. All right, so we're going to pick up where we left off last week. We have 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 4. We're going to read it in the Hebrew first. And then after that, we're going to translate it into the English. 21 and 4. What we got it? We'll go ahead and read. Okay.
1 Kings chapter 21, verse 4. Wayaba'awa, Wayaba'a, Aka'ab, Al, Bayafwa, Sarah, was a Ipa, Al, Hadabar, Ashar, Dabar, Alua, Nabawath, Haya Zerai, Alia, Wayamar, Al, Athun, Laka, Ath, Naklatha, Abba Wathaya, Wayashakab, Al, Matathawa, Wayasaba, Panyawa, Wala'a, Akal, Lakam, verse 5. Wathaba'a, Ayuwa, Ayah Zabal, Ashafwa, Watha Dabar, Ayuwa, Maha, Zaha, Ra Wakab, Sarah, Yanaka, Akal, Lakam, verse 6. Wayadabar, Alyaha, Kaya, Adabar, Al, Nabawath, Ha Yezerai, Alia, Wayamar, Lawa, Thana, Laya, Ath, Karamak, Bakasak, Awa, Ama, Patiza, Atha, Athana, Laka, Karama, Thakathiawa, Wayamar, La'a, Athun, Laka, Ath, Karama, Slakia, Karamaya, verse 7. With Amar, Ayuwa, Yezabal, Ashathwa, Atha, Itha, Aisha, Malawaka, Al, Yasha'ala, Kwawama, Akal, Lakam, Wayataba, Labak, Anaya, Athun, Laka, Ath, Karama, Nabawath, Ha Yezerai, Alia.
Verse 8. Watha, Katha, Sapariah, Basham, Aka, Watha, Katha, Baka, Thamawat, Watha, Shalak, Hasapariah, Hasaquanian, Wa'al, Hakarian, Ashar, Ma'aya, Wawa, Hasha, Salaki, Haya, Shabayam, Now what? Verse 9. Watha, Katha,
Pasapari. La'amar. Korah. Awak. Tazawam. Wahab. Washiyabwa. Nawawaf. Bara. Ashab. Ha'ain. Verse 10. Wahab. Washiyabwa. Shania. Ana. Shayam. Manaya. Hala. Ya'ab. Nagadawa. Waya'ai. Hawa. La'amar. Barak. Katha. Alhayim. Wamalak. Waha. Wata. Wataza. Yahayim. Yahaba. Ya'ah. Hawa. Wasaqua. Lahawa. Waya Matha.
All right, now we're going to read it in English. We have 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 4.
1 Kings chapter 21, verse 4 in the English. And Ahab came into his house heavy and displeased because of the word which Naboth and Jezreelite had spoken to him. For he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid him down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth the Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me thy vineyard for money, or else, if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard for it. And he answered, I will not give thee my vineyard. And Jezebel his wife said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thy heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth and Jezreelite. The Jezreelite, Salah. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name and sealed them with his seal, and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in his city, dwelling with Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, saying, Proclaim a fast, and set Naboth on high among the people. Verse 10. And set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, Thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die.
So what's going on right here is this cat now is trying to get this vineyard, you understand? And this vineyard, King Ahab wants the vineyard. And so he can't get it because of this cat Naboth. So of course his heathen wife Jezebel, you understand, she devises this plan on how she's going to conspire against Naboth to get this vineyard. You understand? And we're going to read about that in the next set. Up here, Amadra, which means to stand. Young man, Jose, present up here only. It's like up here only. So y'all go have a seat. Have a seat. Up here only. Young man, Jose, present yourself. Matter of fact, young man, Dwayne, present yourself. Since he was here last week, you come around this way. When the brothers come up to present themselves too, y'all just keep watching. That's you put on the stairs. Y'all keep watching how they do it, so you see it. So here you'll say, so like run through it, of course.
You'll go to a Mitre Shabbat. You present yourself. A Mitre Shabbat. So just like that. Then you present yourself, young man Dwayne.
Young man Dwayne Bond
ban Yahawada, ban Yashala.
Yeah, right. Young man Dwayne, ban Yahawada, ban Yashala. Barack.
Yahawah Bahasham, Yahushua Barakatah.
Yahawah Bahasham, Yahushua Barakatah. And when it's plural, you'll say Barakatah. Yeah, right. Good work, too. Good work. Yeah. And of course, you all know what the brother was saying is you state in your registry, you saying your name and then ban in Hebrew is son of. So you just say young man Dwayne, son of Judah, son of Israel. That's how we always did it in the scriptures because who we are means something. So if a brother came, if our wadi would have come, he would say our wadi, Bun Gad, Bani Asha'ala. Our wadi is son of Gad, son of Israel. So you say your name, your tribe, and then Israel. You understand? Go ahead, come up. Good work. I see these young men trying to make us look bad too, coming in with these fly garments. They're trying to make us look bad. That's things going on. Up here, your Shabium, which we be seated. Oh, yeah. We're going to pick up where we left off. We had 1 Kings 21 and 11. Because you read the first verse about the shot. Take over.
Verse 21, verse 11. Where your Aisha Anayashia Ayara Ha Zaquanya Nayam Waha Korayam Ashar Ha Yeshabiam Ba'ai Yara Slakia Ba'ai Yarawa Ka Ashar Shalak Al-Yaham, Ayah Zabal, Ka Ashar, Kathawa Waba, Basa Porayim, Ashar, Shalak, Alahayim.
Verse 12. Krawa Awa, Tazawam, Waha Shayabawa, Af, Nabawat, Bara'ash, Ha'aim, verse 13. Wayaba'awa, Shania, Ha'anashim, Banya, Alaya'al, Yeshabwa, Nagadwa, Waya'adawa, Anashia, Habalaya'al, Af, Nabawaf, Nagad, Ha'aim, La'amar, Barak, Nabawaf, Alahayim, Wamalak, Wayataza Ahawa, Makawataza, La'ayah, Wayasakwat Lahawa, Ba'a Banayim, Wayamah, verse 14, Wayashalakwa, Ayazabal, La'amar, Saqual, Nabawat, Wayamah, verse 15, Wayahaya, Kasamai, Kashamai, Ayazabal, Kaya, Saqual, Nabawat, Wayamah, Watha Amal, Ayazabal, Aka'abah, Kwawam, Ra'ash, Af, Karam, Nabawat, Haya Zaba'at Slakin, Haya Za'at Slakin, Haya Zara'ai Liya, Ashar, Ma'an, Laka, Slakin, Latha, Laka, Bakasat, Kaya, Ayan, Nabawat, Kaya, Ma, verse 16, Wayahaya, Kashamai, Aka'aba, Kaya, Ma, Nabawat, Wayakwam, Aka'aba, Larada, Karam, Nabawat, Haya Zara'alia, Larash Thawa, verse 17, Wayahaya, Debal, Yahweh, Alahayo, Hathashabaya, La'amal, verse 18. That's it. Most High Christ. All right, so now we're going to read it in English. Shalom to the sisters that just came in. We're going to read it in English. We get 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 11.
And the men of his city, even the elders and the nobles who were inhabitants of his city, did as Jezebel had sent unto them, and as it was written in the letters which she had sent unto them. Verse 12, they proclaimed a fast and set Naboth on high among the people. Verse 13, and there came into two men, children of Belial, and sat before him. And the men of Belial witnessed against him, even against Naboth, in the presence of the people, saying, Naboth did blasphemy God and the king. Did blasphemy God and the king. Then they carried him forth out the city. Then they carried him forth out of the city and stoned him with stones that he died. Verse 14. Then they sent to Jezebel, saying, Naboth is stoned and is dead. Verse 15. And it came to pass, when Jezebel heard that Naboth was stoned and was dead, that Jezebel said to Ahab, Arise, take possession of the vineyard of Naboth and Jezreelite, which he refused to give thee for money. For Naboth is not alive but dead. Verse 16. And it came to pass when Ahab heard that Naboth was dead, that Ahab rose up to go down to the vineyard of Naboth and Naboth the Jezreelite, to take possession of it. Verse 17. And the word of the Lord came to Elijah and Tishbite, saying,
So what's going on right now is, of course, King Ahab wanted this vineyard from Naboth, because this vineyard was close to his palace, and he wanted it. Naboth is telling him, I can't give you this vineyard. This is the inheritance of my fathers, meaning this was passed down from my fathers all the way down to me. Why would I give you this land that means something to me? It's my father's inheritance they gave to me. Naboth, he was sad. His wife seen that he was sad and upset about this. His wife, being a stinking heathen, Jezebel, she devised such a wicked plan. And this plan was to conspire against Naboth. So they had a celebration for Naboth. She said, plan out the celebration. We're going to lift him on high and celebrate him. And then during the celebration, when everybody's there, two people raise up and say, Naboth blasphemed against God. You understand? And she knew as a heathen that we were strict about us not allowing our people to blaspheme against God. Even though, yet and still, her husband was an Israelite that took her on, which was a sin. Right. But she still knew that our people had enough sense to know that we have to follow these laws. So they did this. They had this celebration for Naboth. And during this great celebration, two people came up against him and said, Naboth blasphemed against God. They took him out and stoned him, killed him. So now she reported the news back to her husband, Ahab, like, all right, the vineyard is yours now. She's like, I did this for you. They killed this brother. We're going to read about what's going to happen now. Up here only, Amaju, which means a stand. Young man Jose, present yourself.
I'll come over on the side, sir.
Yep, right here. Love the show.
Young man Jose.
So, Amaju Shabbat. There you go.
Young man Jose, Bon, Yahweh, Bon, Yasharala.
Young man Jose, Bon Yahweh, Bon Yasharala.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatah.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatah. So in plural, we say Barakatah. Yep, that's plural. You two up. Go ahead, right. Up here, Yeshabu, which means be seated. Right? Yeah. We had 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 25. We're going to read it in the Hebrew first, and then we're going to read it in the English.
Verse 18. Verse 18, sir.
18? I'm trying to speed ahead. Verse 18. Kwam, Radah, Lakra'ath, Akabad, Malak, Yasha'ala, Ashar, Basham Rawan, Hana, Bakwaram, Nabawath, Ashar, Yarad, Sham, Larashtawa, verse 19, Wad the Bartha, Al-Yawa, La'amar, Kaha, Amar, Yahweh, Haratazakath, Wagam, Yarashath, Wadabaratha, Wa Dabarath, Al-Yawa, La'amar, Kaha, Amar, Yahweh, Bamakwawam, Ashar, Lakwawa, Ha Kalabait, Ha Hakalbayim, Ath, Dama, Nabawath, Yalakwawa, Ha Qualabium, Ath, Damak, Gum, Atha, verse 20, Waya Amal, Akaba, Al, Alahaya, what? Hamatasa Athayina, Aya Baya, Waya Amal, Matasa Athafya, Ya'ain, Hathamak Raka, La'aishawath, Hara'ai, Ba'ayanaya, Yahweh, verse 21, Hananiah, Mabaya, Alayak, Ra'ai, Waba'ai, Rathaya, Akarayaka, Waha Korathia, La'ak Abba, Mashakayan, Bakwoyar, Wa'ai Tazawar, Wa'ai Zawar, Bayasha Allah, verse 22, Wanathia, Bayathaka, Kabayath, Yaraba'aim, Ban, Nabat, Wakabath, Wakabayath, Ba'aisha'a, Ban, Akayaha, Haka Isa, Aisha, Haika Asak, Sath, Wathaka Ta'a, Yasha Allah, verse 23, Wagam, La'a Yezabal, Debal, Yahweh, La'amar, Hakalabayam, Ya'akalawa, Ath, Ayazabal, Bakar, Yazara'ai Allah, verse 24, Hamath, La'ak Abba, Ba'ayar, Ya'akalawa, Hakalabium, Wahamath, Bashida, Ya'akalawa, Iwa, Hashamyam, verse 25. All right, now we're going to read it in the English. We had 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 18.
1 Kings chapter 21, verse 18. Arise, go down to meet Ahab, king of Israel, which is in Samaria. Behold, he is in the vineyard of Naboth, whither he is gone down to possess it. Verse 19. And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord, hast thou killed and also taken possession? And thou shalt speak unto him, saying, Thus saith the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, in the place where dogs lick the blood of Naboth, shall dogs lick thy blood, even thine? Verse 20.
It's right here. The Lord is telling Elijah to go prophesy to Naboth and saying, the place where you had Naboth killed, and the dogs licked up the blood where he was killed, there your blood will be spilled. You understand? This is hard for Christians to comprehend because we read about what justice sounds like. Like when we ask for the Lord to destroy our enemies and to destroy America, everybody thinks we're terrorists and hate group.
Right.
When justice, according to the Bible, would be that very thing. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right.
That's justice. That's justice. But we are so detached from any sense of justice because we're slaves that to us that's hate speech. We gotta hug the murderer of our brother. We gotta love Derek Chauvin, even though he put his knee on George Floyd's neck for goddamn 9 minutes. We gotta love them people when God wants them dead, man. And God is going to kill them. We're not going to kill anybody. The Lord is going to kill them and destroy America. Keep reading. Hit the water up.
1 Kings, chapter 21, verse 20. And Ahab said to Elijah, hast thou found me, O mine enemy? And he answered, I have found thee, because thou hast sold thyself to work evil in the sight of the Lord. Verse 21, behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and I will take away the property, posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel. Verse 22, and will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, the son of Elijah, for the provocation wherewith thou hast provoked me to anger, and made Israel to sin. Verse 23, and of Jezebel also spake the Lord, saying, the dog shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel. Verse 24, him that dieth of Ahab in the city, the dog shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat.
Now the Lord is sending Elijah to prophesy against Ahab and his stinking heathen wife. And he's telling him, the Lord told Ahab, I'm going to cut off your posterity. Your posterity is your lineage, the people that come post you, after you. And so the Lord is going, he said he's going to cut off any of the ones Israel. It's people. You understand? And what you see in the I.S.U.P.K is righteous leadership. You understand? With that, I say, I imagine which means to stand. To go out with this stuff, if somebody could take his foot above the show.
God, my body, how would body out?
God, my body, how would body out?
Y'all shop yourself.
Y'all shop yourself. Up there, be shopping, which means be seated. We're going to read, we had 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 25. We're going to read in the Hebrew first. The water too for the sisters for bringing the food.
What was the chapter verse?
Oh, slide. 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 25. Slide.
Hebrew.
No slide.
Verse 26. Get the eye, my eye, Lalaka, Akabaya, Hagalala, Young, Kaka, Ashar, I.S.U.P.K, Maya, Ashar, Habaraya, Yahweh, Mapanaya, Benaiah, Yasha'ala, verse 27. YAHANNA, Kashamai, Rayam, Devar, Yahweh, Al, Ada Yahweh, Hala Shabbat, Amar, verse 29. Hara Ayah, Kaya, Nakanai, Aka'a, Malapnaya, Ya'an, Kaya, Nakanai, Mapanai, La'a, Abaya, Hara'aya, Bayama, Yawa, Bayamaya, Banawa, Abaya, Hara'aya, Al, Bayathawa. 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 1. Wayashabawa, Shalash, Shanayam, so like Ayan, Malaka, Ma, Bayan, Avrama, so like Aram, Wabayan, Yashara Allah, verse 2. Wayahaya, Bashanaya, Hashalaya, Shah, Ya, Wayarad, Yahawashapat, Malak, Yahawadiah. It's like Al, Malak, Yashara Allah, verse 3.
Most High Christ, that's it. Good work. All right. We're going to read it in the English. We have 1 Kings chapter 21, verse 25.
In the English. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to the wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. Verse 26. And he did very abominably in following idols, according to all things, as did the Amorites, whom the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass, when Ahab heard those words, that he rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his flesh, and fasted and lay in sackcloth and went softly. And the word of the Lord came unto Elijah and Tishbite, saying, Seest thou how Ahab humbleth himself before me? Because he humbleth himself before me, I will not bring the evil in his days. But in his son's days, I will bring the evil upon his house.
This shows you the Lord's greatest attribute is his mercy.
Right.
But the Lord had already had Elijah prophesy and say, the Lord is going to kill you and your stinking wife. And then the prophet told him the prophecy, and he went in and, was real repentant and humbled himself. And the Lord seen, he changed. It changed enough for the Lord to give him mercy and say, okay, I ain't going to kill you, but I'm going to kill your son. He said, I'll bring the evil that I prophesied in your son's days. You understand? That's another thing. Because imagine the Israelites who heard Elijah say Ahab was going to die, and then Ahab didn't die. What they will say? That prophecy wasn't real. What about the 2000 prophecy? Y'all said the world was going to end in 2000. Nigga, the Lord changed his mind. That don't mean the prophecy wasn't wrong. The Lord can prophesy, have a prophet prophesy something, and then change his mind. He's done it numerous times in the scriptures. And this is one of those times where the Lord can change his mind. And if you're simple, you would think that the prophecy was wrong. When in all actuality, it's just the Lord changed his mind. This is a little sidebar. That's the end of that. So, yeah, just like keep reading. Yeah, Bible show.
Chapter 22, verse 1. And they continued 3 years without war between Syria and Israel. And it came to pass in the 3rd year that Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, came down to the king of Israel.
That's it. Most High Christ. Imagine this means to stand up here. So, Rock, present yourself. No sweat, no sweat.
Barak ban Yahweh, ban Yasha'Allah.
Barak ban Yahweh, ban Yasha'Allah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shabbarakatham.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shabbarakatham. Up here only, Yeshabium, which means be seated. We're going to pick up where we left off. We are at 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 3.
1 Kings chapter 22, verse 3. Waya Amal, Malak, Yasha Allah, Al, Ibad Hazad, Itham, Kaya, Lanawa, Ramath, Gala'ai, Wa'an, Kanawa, Makak, Shayam, Makaka, Athab, Maya, Yahamo, Yahash, Yahoshapat, Athalak, Athaya, Lalak, Ramah, Gala'ai, Wayahal, Yahah, Washapat, Malak, Yasha'al, Kamal, Kamawanda, Kamawak, Ka'ai, Maya, Ka'ai, Wasaya, Kasar, Wasayak, verse 5, Waya Amal, Yahah, Wasapat, Malak, Yasha'al, Darash, Na'ah, Kayawam, Af, Debar, Yahweh, verse 6, Waya, Kabataza, Malak, Yasha'al, Af, Hanab, Ya'ayim, Ka'ab, Raba'ai, Ma'awaf, Ayash, Waya Amal, Alaham, Ha'alak, Ramath, Gala'ai, Lama Lakam, Lakama, Ama, Akadal, Waya Amarwa, Ila, Wayathan, Adanya, Bayad, Hamalak, verse 7, Waya Amal, Yahawash, Shapat, Ha'ayan, Pun, Pa, Nabaya'ah, La Yahawah, Iwag, one Adar, one Adarash, Ma'awak, Salaki, Ma'a, Wathawa, verse 8, Waya Amal, Malak, Yasha'al, Al, Yahweh Sapat, Iwad, Ayash, Akab, Ladarash, Af, Yahweh, Ma'athwa, Wa'anya, Salaki, Wa'anya, Shana'ath, Yahweh, Kaya, La'ah, La'ah, Yathanab, Ba'ah, Alya, Tawa, Kaya, Ama, Ra, Mayak, Yahweh, Mayak, Hawa, Bun, Yamala, Waya Amar, Yahweh Sapat, Ar, Ya'amar, Hamalak, Khan, verse 9, Waya Kora'ah, Malak, Yasha'ala, Ar, Sorry, Yersa, Yasa, Akkad, Waya Amar, Mahara, Maya, Kaya Hawa, Hawa, Bun, Yamala, verse 10.
I'm sorry, Christ, good work. Now in the English, we have 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 3.
22, verse 3. The book of 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 3. And the king of Israel said unto his servants, Know ye that Ramoth and Gilead is ours, and we be still and take it not out of the hand of the king of Syria? Verse 4. And he said unto Jehoshaphat, Wilt thou go with me to battle to Ramoth Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I am as thou art, my people as thy people, my horses as thy horses. Verse 5. And Jehoshaphat said unto the king of Israel, inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today. Verse 6. Then the king of Israel gathered the prophets together, and 400 men, and said unto them, shall I go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I forbear? And they said, go up, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. Verse 7. And Jehoshaphat said, is there not here a prophet of the Lord, besides that we might inquire of him? Verse 8. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, there is yet one man, Micaiah, the son of Amilah, by whom he may inquire the Lord, but I hate him, for he doeth not prophesy good concerning me, but evil. And Jehoshaphat said, let not the king say so. Verse 9. Then the king of Israel called an officer and said, hasten hither Micaiah the son of Amilah.
So what's going on right now is Jehoshaphat, the king of the so-called southern tribe, Judah, Benjamin, and half of Levi, Judah, he's going down and he's trying to take over the land of Ramoth Gilead, right? Syria at this point. That's who the people who have it. And he's going to, what's the cat name? Ahab, Salakia. He's going to Ahab, and Ahab is saying that let's find out if my prophets are saying that we'll be victorious because we'll join you in the war. You understand? Ahab, the king of the northern kingdom, and then Jehoshaphat, the king of the southern kingdom. So Jehoshaphat is telling him, let's ask your prophets. So all of his advisors and prophets are saying, yeah, you're going to be victorious. You're going to be victorious. And so Jehoshaphat is hearing us, and he was like, it ain't no other prophet, you know what I'm saying, outside of your prophets that I can hear from. He's like, that's pretty strange. All 400 of these men is saying the same thing. You know, so he's like, is somebody else I can hear from? And then he said, well, yeah, it's this other cat, this Micaiah, but I don't bang with him. He don't never give me good news. He don't prophesy what I like to hear. You understand? And so Jehoshaphat is like, well, let's hear from this cat. You understand? Because maybe he's telling you the truth, and you just hate to hear the truth, which is our people. You understand? We're gonna pick it up here at Margin, which means to stand. Over why to present yourself.
Over why you bun gad, bun yashala.
Over why you bun gad, bun yashala.
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbarakathum.
Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shabbarakathum.
Up here on Yeshabil, which means be seated. Right, we have 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 10. We're going to read it in Hebrew first. Before we get it first, go ahead.
Verse 10. Wamalak, Yasha'ala, Wayaha was Shapat, Malak, Yahawada, Yashabayim, Ayash, Al, Kasa'awa, Malabashim, Bagadya, Bagarana, Pathak, Sha'ira, Shema Rowan, Wakal, Hanabai Ya'ayim, Matha Naba'ayim, Lapanyaham, verse 11, Waya Aisha, Lawa, Tazadakia, Ban, Kana'aina, Kwaranaya, Barazal, Wayamar, Kaha, Amar, Yahweh, Baalia, Thanagak, Ath, Aram, Ide, Kathama, Ka Latham. Verse 12, Wakal, Habana'ayim, Naba'ayim, Khan, Lamar, Al, Ramatha, Gala'ai, Waha Tazalak, Wathana, Yahweh, Bayad, Hamalak, verse 13, Wahamalak, Wahamalak, Ashar,
Laka. Salakia. What was that? What verse was that?
13.
Verse 13. All right.
Third word.
Okay. Thwada. La Qur'ah. Mayak Yahweh. The bar. Ayuwa. La Mar. Hana. Na'a. The Barya. Ha. Naba'aya. Ha. Naba'a Ya'am. Paha. Akkad. Tawab. Al. Hamalak. Yahaya. Na'a. The Baryaka. Kadabar. Akkad. Ha. Maha. Ha. Maha. Salakia. Ha. Maham. Wadarath. Tawab.
Verse 14. Waya Amar. Mayat. Yahweh. Hayat. Salaki. Kayat. Yahweh. Kayat. Ashar. Ya'amar. Ya'amar. Yahweh. Alia. Athawa. Adabar. Verse 15. Wayaba'a. Al. Hamalak. Waya'amar. Hamalak. Al-Yawa. Mayat. Yahweh. Hana. Laka. Al. Ramah. Galiyah. Lamah. Become hot. Amah. Naka. Nakadar. Waya Amah. Al-Yawa. Al-Ha. Waha. Tazalak. Wana. Sana. Yahweh. Fayad. Hamalak. Verse 16. Waya Amar. Al-Haliyah. Al-Yawa. Hamalak. Ai. Kama. Pa'ayim. Ainaya. Mashab. Akka. Ashar. La'a. Tada. Tadaba. Alia. Wakwa. Amatha. Masham. Yahweh.
Now we're going to read it in the English. We got 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 10.
1 Kings chapter 22, verse 10. And the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, sat each on his throne, having put on their robes in a void place in the entrance of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied before them. And Zedekiah, the son of Chananah, made him horns of iron. And he said, Thus saith the Lord, with these shalt thou push the Syrians until thou hast consumed them. And all the prophets prophesied so saying, Go up to Ramoth Gilead and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it unto the deliver it into the king's hand. Verse 13. And the messenger that was gone to call Micaiah spake unto him, saying, Behold, now the words of the prophets declare good unto the king with one mouth. Let thy word, I pray thee, be like the word of one of them, and speak that which is good.
Just letting you know what time it was for his people. Like this cat is going to send for this messenger, the prophet Micaiah. And before Micaiah can even get there, the messenger, the first thing he said is, listen, we need you to come and speak what everybody else has been saying. Speak good unto the king. It's like, you should want to hear the truth. You tell me what I should speak. Micaiah gonna tell him. Keep reading.
And Micaiah said, as the Lord liveth, what the Lord saith unto me, that will I speak.
He said, you tell me what I should speak. I'll speak what the Lord tells me to speak. You know, so I'm not going to say what you want me to say, whether it be good or bad. I'll just say whatever the Lord says. Keep reading.
Come. So he came to the king, and the king said unto him, Micaiah, shall we go against Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall we forbear? And he answered him, Go and prosper, for the Lord shall deliver it into the hand of the king. And the king said unto him, How many times shall I adjure thee that thou tell me nothing but that which is true in the name of the Lord?
So we'll pick it up when we get back. Up here at bottom, which means to stand. Who was next?
Young man Dwayne.
Young man Dwayne, present yourself.
Young man Dwayne, Ban Yahabada, Ban Yasha'ala.
Young man Dwayne, Ban Yahawada, Ban Yasha'ala.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatam.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah Barakatam.
Up here, Yeshabian, which means be seated. So now we are at 1 Kings. Where we at? 22 and what verse?
17.
22 and 17. All right. Waya Amar, Ra'ayathaya, Ath, Kal, Yasha'ala, Napatazayam, Al, Hahariam, Kataza'ana, Ashar, Ayan, Laham, Ra'ai, Waya Amar, Yahweh, La'a, Adonai, La'a Laha, Yeshawabu, Yashawabawa, Ayash, Labayathwa, Bashalawam, verse 18, Waya Amar, Malak, Yasha'ala, Al, Yahweh Shapat, Halawa'a, Amarathaya, Alyaka, Lawa'a, Yathan, Yathan Ba'a, Ilawa, Alya, Tawa, Kaya, Ra'ai, verse 19, Waya Amar, Lakan, Shema, Dabar, Yahweh, Ra'ath, Yathaya, Ath, Yahweh, Yeshar, Al, Kasa'awa, Wakar, Tazaba'a, Hashemayim, Aimad, Alyua, Mayam Yanawa, Wamash Ma'al Yuwa, it's like it. Wamasham Alawa, verse 20. Waya Amar, Yahweh, Maya, Yapatha, Ath, Ak Abba, Waya Ar, Waya Pa, Baramath, Gala'ai, Waya Amar, Zahar, Bakar, Wazar, Amar, Bakar, verse 21. Wayata Za'ah, Harakat, Harawak, Waya Amar, Lapanya, Yahweh, Waya Amar, Anaya, Apathnoah, Waya Amar, Yahweh, Alyua, Bama, verse 22. Waya Amar, Ataza'ah, Wahaya Yathaya, Rawak, Shakwa, Bapaya, Kar, Naba Ya'alyawa, Waya Amar, Thapatha, Wagam, Thapawakar, Taza'a, Wa Aisha, Khan, verse 23, Wa Aitha, Hana, Nathan, Yahweh, Rawak, Shakwar, Bapaya, Kyle, Naba Ya'ayaka, Allah, Wa Yahweh, Debar, Alyaka, Ra'ai, verse 24. Mosiah Christ. Now in English, we have 1 Kings chapter 22, verse 17.
1 Kings 22, verse 17. And he said, I saw all Israel scattered upon the hills as sheep that have not a shepherd. And the Lord said, these have no master. Let them return every man to his house in peace. Verse 18. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, did I not tell thee that he would prophesy no good concerning me, but evil?
So Jehoshaphat is here. Micaiah prophesied what the Lord told him to prophesy. And Jehoshaphat, of course, somebody's telling you you're not going to win in battle, you're going to lose. He looking to the king Jehoshaphat. He's like, didn't I tell you this cat? I told you I don't like him. This is why I didn't want to bring him. I got 400 that said I'm going to win. And you want to hear why. This is why I didn't bring him. You understand? Keep reading.
Verse 19. And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and his left. Verse 20. And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. Verse 21. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. Verse 22. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail so. Go forth and do so. Verse 23. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee.
So what we're reading right here is we read about what's going on in the spiritual realm. Like you have to understand everything happens. What happens in the physical realm is happening in the spiritual realm. Like General Muhammad gave a great breakdown on that. Like a brother that may have a severe migraine in the spiritual realm, it could be a demon on him that's gnawing at his head. That in the physical realm, you just know you got a bad migraine. We read about the spiritual realm of what just took place. The Lord is saying the angels in heaven, the Lord wants Ahab to fall. You understand? And so the Lord is asking the angels because the Lord doesn't do anything. He gives orders to do everything. Right. You understand? The Lord is a general. He's in charge of everything. So he doesn't have to lift a finger. He gives an order and the angels execute. Mm-hmm. And he's asking the angels, who is going to bring Ahab down? Any ideas? You understand? Report. How are we going to bring Ahab down? So the angels was giving ideas. And one of the angels said, I'll be a lying spirit in the mouth of his prophets. You understand? Meaning, I'll go and make all his advisors and prophets say the same thing and lead him to war so that he can lose in war. You understand? And that's what's happening in the spiritual realm. And we just read before, when he asked the 400 men, what happened? They all agreed and said the same thing. Oh, you should go to war. You're going to be victorious, saith the Lord. You understand? Well, what took place in the spiritual realm was that this was what was supposed to happen. You understand? The Lord put a lying spirit on his prophets. Go ahead.
Salaam, sir, if I may. This proves that the Most High does not love everyone.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. If anybody still had any doubt about that, I mean, we could have said that in the first seven. Right. The first 7 verses. Like the Lord does not love everybody. You understand? And furthermore, the Lord loves Israel that he's willing to punish us. Like, remember, Ahab is Israel. And the Lord will go to great lengths to make us understand we can't do what everybody else does and we can't be sinners. He said Ahab was a sinner, and the Lord is having a counsel on how to destroy Ahab. You understand? Just imagine when you sin, the counsel that's being had about you. How are we going to destroy Kazakh-Ahmad? Yeah, so that nigga is wicked. So give me ideas. Let's have him go to camp and get hit by a car. You know, all type of craziness. This is what happens when you sin. This is counsel being held about you. And you'd be surprised, in the physical realm, this counsel is being held about you too. What you think about that truth? What you think about that young man? That's like I said. I don't know. He seems a little off lately. All right, keep him there. Just hold him here for a minute. He just wait here for a minute. Everything that happens in the physical happens in the spiritual. Go ahead, Quash.
And just like you were saying, how the Most High, his greatest power is his grace, his forgiveness,
his mercy.
His mercy. Even though he's holding counsel of how to destroy, Ahab, he also sent the prophet to tell him the truth.
Right.
But he chose not to listen to the truth. He chose to listen to all these lies.
You see how that works? It's a precept that says that. The Lord, go ahead, Barack.
Salaki, I got one. I'm paraphrasing like a mug, but like when no temptation that come and you don't get a way out, or the Lord don't give you like a way out.
Get a brother's hand. That's in the Bible. Do you think Judas had to be the one to betray Christ? There was probably an opportunity where he had an out to not entertain that demon. He didn't take it. Ahab had an out. He didn't have to go and sin.
Right.
He didn't take it.
Right.
You don't have to be a sinner and be disgusting. You're not born gay. You're not born a crackhead. You're not a homosexual or lesbian. There's an out you can take. You should take it. Or the Lord will just plot on your downfall. The Lord is the biggest plotter. You understand? He'll just plot on your downfall, and it'll happen so perfectly. I had a saying, I used to say in the world, my life used to F up so perfectly. It was like this has to be, this can't just be happening, just orchestrated perfect like this. How the hell the police knew I was going to be here with this, with her, and this, and that? Like, how does it all come together? Like, this is happening up too perfect. Listen, man, the Lord is having counsels on how to destroy you if you don't choose to change and take that out. You understand? With that, I say imagine, which means to stand up here only. Quash, if you could. Sure. Turn this way, brother. This way. Just take your right hand here. You turn back here. You hold the cup out. Say, La Yasha Allah.
La Yasha Allah.
You go ahead and drink. Go ahead, Quash, walk for sure. Water.
And with that, I say Amajim, which means to stand. Wapanyahakodam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer first in Hebrew. Repeat after me. Abanau, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shubka, Yahweh, Malak Taba'ah, Ratzayaka, I.S.U.P.K, Baratiza, Kawak, Hayah, Mashamayim, Dundanau, Lakam, Kal, Yawam. Wasalaki now. Kamawaki now. Kasalaki now. Kamawaki now. Wala'a. Tabayai now. Banasaya 1. Abal. Amashaya now. Mayan. Ra. Kaya. Laka. Amalakwa. La'ala. Watapara. La'ayamin. Aman. And in the English, our Father, which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debt. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Let's say cut the power. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Babakashah, Thumbnail, Hakak, Larpa'ah, Kalamala, Wakamadawa, Latahal, Amatazarayim, Hakak, Lahaki, Hakak, Arakawa, Natama'ala, Garisha, Hashem, Yahusha, the water Aman.
And in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahusha.
In the name of Yahusha.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out.
To cast them out.
In the name of Yahusha.
In the name of Yahusha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
We'll say, bless Israel, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By
Hashem.
Yahusha.
Yahusha.
Barak Lanao.
Wayasha'al. Wahabayah. Sapari. Barak. Rapah. Magad. By Hashem Yahusha. The water Aman.
And in the English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahusha.
In the name of Yahusha.
Bless us.
Bless us.
And Israel.
And Israel.
And the school.
And the school.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Shield.
Shield.
Protect.
Protect.
Our loved ones.
Our loved ones.
In the name of Yahusha.
In the name of Yahusha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
We'll say Psalms 121.
Asha'a. Ayanya. Ahahari. Ma'ayan. Yaba'a. Izari. Ma'an. Yahweh. I.S.U.P.K. Shemayim. Warataza. Aliyathan. Lamawat. Regalka. Ayanawam. Shamarka. Hanak. La'ah. Yanawam. Wala'ah. Yayashad. Shalom. Yasha'al. Yahweh. Shamarka. Yahweh. Tazarka. Aliyah. Yamyaka. Yaramam. Hashemash. La'ah. Yakaka. Wayarak. Malayallah. Yahweh. Yashamarka. Makara. Yashamar. Aftapashka. Yahweh. Yashamar. Taza'afka. Wawa'afka. Ma'aitha. Wa'aitawalam. The water Aman.
And in the English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from Yahweh.
My help cometh from Yahweh.
Which made heaven and earth.
Which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee.
He that keepeth thee.
Will not slumber.
Will not slumber.
Behold.
Behold.
He that keepeth Israel.
He that keepeth Israel.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Shall neither slumber nor sleep.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy keeper.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
The sun shall not smite thee by day.
Nor the moon by night.
Nor the moon by night.
Yahweh shall preserve thee.
Yahweh shall preserve thee
from all evil.
From all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
Yahweh shall preserve thy going out.
And thy coming in.
And thy coming in.
From this time forth.
From this time forth.
And even forevermore.
And even forevermore.
So be it.
So be it.
We'll say Psalms 83. Alahayim.
Al-Damayilaka.
Al-Thakarash.
Al-Thakarash.
Al-Thashakwat.
Al.
Kayahana.
Awayabika. Yahama Yawan. Wamashanayaka. Nasha'awa. Ra'ash. Al-Imaka. Ya'arayamwa. Sawad. Wayathayaitazawa. Al-Tazabawanika. Amaru. Lakawa. Wanakakida. Magalia. Wala'ah. Yazakar.
Sham
Yasha'ala. Iwad. Kaya. Nawa'itazawa. La. Yakadwa. Alika. Barya. Yakarathwa. Ahalia. Adawam.
Wayashima'alim.
Mawa'aba.
Wahagarian.
Gabal.
Wa'aimawan.
Wa'aimalak.
Halashat. I'm Yeshabia.
Tazawar.
Gum
Ashawar.
Nalawa. Imam.
Hayawat. Zarawat.
Labanya Lawat.
Salat.
Aisha Laham.
Kamajin.
Kasaya
Sara'ah. Kayabian. Banakal. Kwayashuan.
Nashamadwa. Ba'ayanda Arwa. Hayawa.
Daman. La'adama.
Shaytamwa. Nadat Slakia. Nadiyamawa. Ka'ira. Wakaza'aba. Wakazabak. Wakazazamana. Kanasaya Kamwa. Ashar.
Amaru.
Nayarashah.
Lana'ah.
Lanawa.
Na'awa, Alahayim, Alahayim, Shayithumwa, Kagagala, Kwash, Lapanyoka, Ka'ach, Yaira, Wakala Habab, Philahat, Haryam, Khan, Tharadatma, Basa Irika, Wabasa Wapaka, the Bahalam, Mala'ah, Panyaham, Kualawan, Wayabakwashua, Shabka, Yahawah, Yabashua, Wayaba'awa, Aja'ai, Wayakapawa, Wayabadwa, Wayada'aiwa, Kaya, Athar, Shabka, Yahawah, Labaka, Ayawan, Al-Kaha-Rataza, the water Aman.
And in the English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh.
Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still.
And be not still.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee.
And they that hate thee.
Have lifted up the head.
Have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel.
They have taken crafty counsel.
Against thy people.
Against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said.
Come.
And let us cut them off.
And let us cut them off.
From being a nation.
From being a nation.
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel.
May be no more remembered.
May be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together.
For they have consulted together.
With one consent.
With one consent.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom.
The tabernacles of Edom.
And the Israelites.
And the Israelites.
Of Moab.
Of Moab.
And the Hagarenes.
And the Hagarenes.
Gabal and Ammon.
Gabal and Ammon.
And Amalek.
And Amalek.
The Philistines.
The Philistines.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Asher also is joined with them.
Asher also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah. Do unto them.
Do unto them.
As unto the Midianites.
As unto the Midianites.
As to Sisera.
As to Sisera.
As to Jabin.
As to Jabin.
At the brook of Kishon.
At the brook of Kishon.
Which perished at Endor.
Which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
Make their nobles like Oreb.
And like Ze'ed.
And like Ze'ed.
Yea. All their princes.
All their princes.
As Sabbath.
And Sabbath.
And as Zalmunna.
And as Zalmunna.
Who said. Let us take to ourselves.
Let us take to ourselves.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
The houses of Yahweh in possession.
Oh my power.
Oh my power.
Make them like a wheel.
Make them like a wheel.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the stubble before the wind.
As the fire burneth the wood.
As the fire burneth the wood.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
And as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
So persecute them.
So persecute them.
With thy tempest.
With thy tempest.
And make them afraid.
And make them afraid.
With thy storm.
With thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame.
Fill their faces with shame.
That they may seek thy name.
That they may seek thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
Let them be confounded.
Let them be confounded.
And troubled forever.
And troubled forever.
Yea. Let them be put to shame.
Let them be put to shame.
And perish.
And perish.
That men may know.
That men may know.
That thou. Whose name alone.
Whose name alone.
Is Yahweh.
Is Yahweh.
Art the most high.
Art the most high.
Over all the earth.
Over all the earth.
So be it.
So be it.
We want to say the blessings. Barakatah Yahweh.
Barakatah Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Mayaka Allah.
Wa Alahayim.
Wa Alahayim.
Mutazabiyah.
Mutazabiyah.
Alawap Yahanna.
Alawap Yahanna.
Ha Alawapia.
Ha Alawapia.
Ha Saranya.
Ha Saranya.
Ha Quartz Yamim.
Ha Quartz Yamim.
Ha Kwa Yamim.
Ha Kwa Yamim.
Wa Hakwapia.
Wa Hakwapia.
Yahweh.
Ba'Shem.
Yahushua.
The water Aman.
And in the English, bless you, Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahushua.
And Yahushua.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahanna.
Commanding General Yahanna.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So be it.
So be it.
We're going to do the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahushua.
In the name of Yahushua.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the heathen.
To the heathen.
And shake loose the treasure.
And shake loose the treasure.
Of the rich of Israel.
Of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter to thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nation.
And the nation.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitatus.
Posse Comitatus.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA Space Program.
NASA Space Program.
Army.
Navy.
Navy. Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
The cable access channel.
The cable access channel.
And the radio channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit.
Of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
That seek to stop.
That seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction.
And bring swift destruction.
To all the heathens.
To all the heathens.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
Or try to stop
Or
us.
try to stop us.
From broadcasting your word.
From broadcasting your word.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And consume them.
And consume them.
Let the plague.
Let the plague.
Shake the house of the thief.
Shake the house of the thief.
And the murderer.
And the murderer.
Let Yahawashi.
Let Yahawashi.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucer.
Come down with the flying saucer.
And punish all the heathens.
And punish all the heathens.
That come up against us.
That come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known.
Cause it to be known.
By all.
By all.
That it is the angels.
That it is the angels.
That have done it.
That have done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be spread.
Through the media.
Through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahawashi.
In the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
And with that, I say, Sar, which means to turn. Sisters, you may have a seat. Men of Israel, gird up their loins and prepare to salute the Torah. This way.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakiyah. Oh, Salaki. Okay. Salaki Bakwash.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakiyah.
I was getting distracted by his garment. Come on, fly at the third time. That's my style.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakiyah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakiyah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakiyah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakiyah.
Men of Israel, we will give one courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, night of Shabbat. I-Majim, Barak.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatham.
Yashmatah. Sar, sisters, please stand. We will give one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, night of Shabbat. I-Majim, Barak.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua.
Yashmatah. Class dismissed.
If any brother wants to get anointed, you go ahead and come forward right here. You can take the chairs too, Baba Shalom.
The Lord loved us so much that in our poverty, in our hell, I'm going to come and deliver the broken, destroyed, messed up, poor, impoverished people. I'm going to save.
Young niggas ain't tough. Young niggas ain't tough. You young niggas ain't tough.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barakatah. Yahweh Shema Alatah Ba'ashem Yahushua to all the sisters, man. Listen, it's Captain 13,000 of Card of a Rhyme checking in with the Israelite School of UPK under Commander YAHANNA. Listen, man, this year's 52nd annual Passover. Hold on, I'm gonna say it one more time. 52nd annual Passover under Commander General YAHANNA under the I.S.U.P.K. Couldn't do it last year. Y'all already know the Lord had his foot on our oppressor's neck.
Here in New York City, there are roughly 1,000 cases a day. Those are numbers they haven't seen since May.
Can't do it in New York this year because the Lord still got his foot on our oppressor's neck.
New York, the center of the outbreak this spring, is now teetering on another deadly explosion of the virus.
But listen to me good. This year, 52nd annual Passover, April 24th, 2021. You understand? It's gonna be in H-Town, baby.
It's gonna be at the B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do.
2021 I.S.U.P.K. 52nd annual Passover. All the generals gonna be there. All the heavy hitters gonna be there. The daughters of Zion gonna step out with their beautiful long dresses, you understand? Strong on deck. That One West style music on deck. 52nd annual Passover.
B&H Ranch, 14149 Players Street, Houston, Texas.
Get with it to get lost, man.
Got it out the mud, straight up out the base. The world done made me crazy. The world done turned crazy.
You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I'm siding with the Lord of course. On one accord. We ain't never stopping now. You running now. All my niggas go to ground. We go.
Shalom. I.S.U.P.K, YAHANNA, Yahawashi to the sisters. I'm President Captain TITHES with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, telling you to come out to the 52nd annual Passover under Commander General YAHANNA. Yeah, man, it's going to be at the ranch, man, the BH Ranch. And it's going to be a glorious event. April 24th, come out, come to Houston, Texas, where we're going to serve the Lord the way he's supposed to be served. You understand? We're going to celebrate the destruction of our enemy in the BH Ranch, and it's going to be a glorious event. Make sure you come out, man. It's going to be a $200 fee to get in, but let me tell you something. You're going to enjoy yourself. This is going to be the best event you've ever been to in your life. So I'm going to tell you, man, 14149 Players Street, come out, man, and enjoy the brotherhood and sisterhood under Christ. With that, shalom.